Today we are making potato soup. This is a recipe that my friend, who is a missionary in Japan now, came up with. We went to visit them when Josiah was just a wee baby, and they made this amazing soup. And so I was like, you must write this down. And so it is an amazing soup. So we are going to get started by cutting our green onions. Put that in my pot. You can do as many green onions or as little green onions. I actually think I want to do some more green onions. Okay, and then we're gonna get our garlic. And let's see, this calls for 3 to 4 cloves of garlic. I think that's the one kitchen tool that you open up and you're like, I hope it's clean. I hope that whoever did the dishes opened up the actual cavity, got anything out of it that was in there. We are going to be serving this dish with steak because it is not protein. There's very little protein in it. There's some chicken stock, but other than that, there's no protein in it. And I'm getting serious about my protein intake, making sure that I have enough every day. There's a good podcast if you want to listen to that. Jill Winger did a really good podcast on that, on protein. Okay, so we're gonna add olive oil. My recipe calls for 3 tablespoons. I just kind of eyeball it. We're gonna put some dried parsley in here. A teaspoon of dried parsley. 2 teaspoons of rosemary. We're gonna get that heating on the stove top. Okay. While that's heating up, I'm gonna start cutting my potatoes that I have already washed. Now I'm just gonna cut these into kind of cubes. I used to do this where they were cut in slices, but I'm more and more the bite-sized soup person now. We're putting obviously a lot more than this in, but let's get this started. I'm gonna not get them everywhere, which I don't think I'm doing a very good job of. This is some chicken broth that I just made. Pour that in there. And I'm gonna let that start cooking, and I'm gonna get some more potatoes in here. Cook it until the potatoes are tender, and then we will add in our dairy to it because it is a creamy potato soup, but it is so good. And then I'm going to just fry up some steaks, and that's what dinner will be, is steak and potato soup. This has been simmering, boiling. It was boiling, and then I turned it down to simmer. And it's still going pretty well. And then we're now gonna add our milk, cream, and sour cream. So first I'm gonna add a cup of milk. I'm not gonna measure it. I'm just gonna eyeball it. add some sour cream. Add in a good amount of salt. Probably a couple teaspoons there. And then another thing that you can add is Parmesan cheese. You can add it in here, or you can sprinkle it on as people are scooping it out in their bowls. I think that's what we're gonna do, is just add the sour cream, the Parmesan cheese then. But that is all for the potato soup. We have our pan really nice and hot. I have my lard here. I've got another pan that I'm gonna put them in. And here I've got my steaks. They are seasoned nicely and heavily with salt. We're gonna get the lard in the pan. And I'm just gonna, whoops, not do that, but that's what happened. I've got my oven preheated, and I'm gonna stick these in here to keep cooking. I just put pats of butter on each of them, and then I'm about to do Justin's lamb chops as well.
That was done. You want to call it?
Yeah, let's just call it. I'm gonna put a thing on top of them to let it sit. Let's put this on it. I don't know if that does anything. It just makes it feel better.